Hi, my name is Charlie from the Groundhog Gracie Garage. I'd like to establish a YouTube channel to try to discuss Jiu Jitsu principles. And I've chosen to start with the most basic. First lesson in Jiu Jitsu is the UPA. Now, the reason why I have chosen this is because, to discuss principles, is because a lot of people are shooting videos, Jiu Jitsu videos, describing how they do techniques, but they're not showing why the technique works, what's the principle behind the technique, to understand why the technique works. If you understand the principles of a technique, those principles will hold true probably for other techniques. So you're just not learning one technique, you're learning many techniques. But if you train the other way around, the only thing you're interested in is training a technique, then you may spend much more time on each technique because you don't understand the underlying principles. So let's get started, and hopefully you find this interesting. Leave me a comment. If not, sorry. Okay, so and also in this presentation at the end, I will provide a link of my good friend Sundar, who has a great explanation and a great video on doing the UPA. Okay, so when you're going to do the UPA, I think your opponent is mounted on you. You're kind of flat on your back, and he's on your hips. Okay? Whether he's going to choke you, he's going to try to punch you, whether he's just trying to also push down your shoulders, or he's trying to hug your head, basically you're going to be flat, and he's going to be on your hips. Okay? We're not going to address if he goes high mount and he comes off your hips and more into your shoulders. That's a more advanced, I believe, more advanced topic we will cover in another video. Okay? For this video, for the rest of the discussion in this video, let's assume he's going to go for a choke. He has a collar choke. He has his forearm across your throat. Okay? On this, okay, the side that you want to try to UPA him on would be not the one that you wouldn't be turning to the forearm. You'd be turning away from the forearm. It would only make common sense. Because turning into the forearm would put the choke in more. So you're trying to go away from the forearm. You want to UPA away from the forearm that's choking you. So what you want to do is you want to isolate that forearm. So you would look away, and you would grab the wrist and under the elbow. Okay? And important, when you're grabbing under the elbow, the arm under the elbow, make sure your elbow is tucked close into your side. The reason being, if it's flared out, you're kind of stopping your movement. In the UPA, you need to move. You need to off balance him, and you need to get up onto your shoulder. If your elbow is flared out when you go to turn to that side, it's going to block your movement. So that's kind of important. So let's say you now have the arm isolated. You've got to isolate the opponent's leg on that side. So you've got to put your leg around his leg, okay, to isolate that leg. Okay? At this point, you need a connection. So you should have that choking forearm connected to your chest, held by your two arms. And your legs should be connected. At least your leg on the outside should be connected to him. And maybe he's probably, if he was going for the forearm choke, you definitely have to have his hips on your hips, and maybe his stomach, or maybe even his chest, depending on how he reacted. So you need that connect. If you don't have a connection, I don't believe the UPA will really work. Then you have a problem. If you don't have that connection, I would say work on getting good at getting that connection. Okay, now to do the UPA, once you have this, you want to bridge your opponent forward over your head. That's the off balancing. But before you get to that step, in order to do the UPA to get to bridge over your shoulder, you need to look over your shoulder and probably 45 degrees back over your shoulder. Okay? I see a lot of people who try and do UPAs, they're showing videos, and they're just rolling. They're not rolling over their shoulder, really. They're looking sideways, and they're rolling over their stomach. And that's not really correct, because just think about it. If your opponent is smashing down on your hips and you're trying to roll sideways, he's on top of you, it's going to require a lot of strength, because all his weight is on your hips. In the UPA, we're trying to get his weight off of your hips so that you can move. The other way, now you got to use strength to try to bump him off. And not only that, when moving sideways, he can most likely post his leg out sideways. If you're trying that, he can maybe get his leg, and then if he posts his leg out, you're not going to move. So it's very important. Just think of the UPA. You have to get up onto your shoulder. Okay. In order to do that, I think it's only common sense. You could try this without an opponent. Lay on your back. Try to do the UPA. Make sure elbows tucked in. Look 45 degrees back over that shoulder you're going to UPA on. Bridge up and then turn around on that shoulder. Practice that before even having someone jump on you to do the UPA. Practice it without an opponent to understand the movement. Okay? Now to get that good bridge, okay, you're going to look at a shoulder. It will help, okay, this is another important point, to move your head away and then look to that shoulder. So in other words, let's say if I'm going to UPA over my left shoulder. I'm going to bridge up on my left shoulder. Maybe I would take my head and move it slightly to the right, so then I could turn and look over my shoulder. The closer my head is to my left shoulder, the harder it is to look over my shoulder. Just a basic movement. Again, you could try this with an opponent and fool around with your head position, and I think you'll clearly understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, to bridge up, you can bring both your legs as close as you can to your butt and bridge straight up. That'll give you your most leverage. If you need it, again, experiment with this, how close you can bring your legs in to get that bridge. Right? The main thing is you've got to get the opponent off of your hips and his weight over you. Because once his weight is over you, now your hips are free to move. Now you've off-balanced him. This is a very basic concept, and all sweeps off balancing the person first, getting his weight to go forward so that your hips are either free or he's light. See, if you off balance him forward, he's light on his legs. He's light on his hips, his legs. You now can move him. But if he's back on his hips, then you can't move him. So that's why this is so critical for many techniques, is this off balancing. Okay. I was talking about this. Turn onto your shoulder, getting sideways at the same time. So you're looking to the corner, over your shoulder. You bridge, now you're looking, and now you're turning. You're looking over your shoulder, and you're turning over your shoulder. Imagine a small point on your shoulder that you're turning around. That's what I try to imagine. Naturally, and turn around that point. Naturally, the leg will be on the outside of the opponent. It will have to come under you for you to complete the turn. As you get to your side, there should be some weight on the bottom leg, which is trapping his leg. So that's how his leg gets trapped. And naturally, it will turn under you. Okay? So when you complete that turn and the leg turns around, you should get into the opponent's guard. Whether it be an open guard, whether it be whether it be a closed guard, he closed his legs, or this is combative, so he maybe didn't close his legs, it's kind of like a butterfly guard, any type of, you're inside of his legs. At that point, what I think you should do is become small. Connect your knees to your elbows. put all of your effort onto his hips. Don't open up so that you're distributed across his body. Become very small and concentrate all your weight on his hips. This way he can't sweep you. He can't do anything, and then from there, you can progress to an attack. But I think it's very important first establish that base while he has you while you're in between his legs. Become small. Connect your knees to your elbows. Okay, here's my friend Sundar's link. Like I said, great explanation of how to do the UPA. See if you can find these principles that I talked about. He also talks about them in the video. Maybe you can discover some principles that I missed, or that you've discovered that I don't know of. If you do, let me know. Leave me a comment. Okay, and just a quick summary. Isolate opponent's arm and leg to the side you're going to UPA them, so they can't base out on them. Then you bridge up to off balance the opponent. Very important. Get him off balance. Get him top heavy, so he's bottom light, so you can manipulate him. Turn around on your shoulder. To do the UPA, you need to turn around on your shoulder, not around your stomach. And then at the end, I would start becoming, once I've turned him, become small. Connect my knees and my elbows while I'm inside of his legs until I decide what to do. This way he cannot manipulate me. I have control of him. Okay. Thanks for listening. Hopefully this helps.